Hi, I'm Andrew Boyarji, and I lead the Agile and DevOps evangelism team at Atlassian. As a part of my role, I speak with a lot of CTOs and CIOs. Over the past 12 months, most of them have asked me, how should we be measuring developer productivity? It's an interesting question. I get why they're asking. Every leader is under pressure to deliver better results and prove the value of the investment made. But I think they're asking the wrong question. A better question might be, how should we help our developers be more productive? These leaders genuinely want their teams to be as productive as they can, but I think they're getting stuck on trying to measure productivity, which takes time away from helping their teams actually be more productive. It's not like developers don't want to be productive. More than any other profession, developers love their craft. It's not just a job, it's a passion for them. Last year, there were over 413 million contributions to open source software. That's 413 million times developers contributed to a project in their own free time. Scroll through X, LinkedIn, Reddit, Stack Overflow, or YouTube, and you'll find millions of developers sharing knowledge and collaborating on new and innovative ways to solve problems. Developers love their craft and they want to be productive. So it's a strange scenario in most organizations where devs want to be productive, they don't feel productive, and their leaders want to measure their productivity. So what's causing this? Consider this scenario. You commission a world-renowned artist to create a statement painting that customers will see when they enter your office. You tell the artist that this piece of art should embody the spirit of your company and represent you to the world. As the artist removes her paints from her bag, you inform her that your company has a no paint policy and that she'll need to use crayons. The artist politely requests you reconsider, as this will result in a far inferior outcome to creating the statement piece with paint. You understand the artist's concerns, but policy is policy. As the artist pulls out her easel to attach the paper, you interrupt her again and insist that she use your boardroom table. You spend a lot of money on that boardroom table and it should get some use. Given the crayon discussion, the artist knows there isn't much point in debating the issue. While she's unhappy about the situation, the artist does her best with the tools available. Finally, you become concerned that the artwork might not be ready for the high-profile client visit in a few weeks. So, you install cameras that count the number of crayon strokes the artist takes per minute to ensure she's working efficiently. Here is the artwork that the world-renowned artist was able to produce. You might find this story amusing, but the same thing is happening to developers all over the world. Knowing we haven't created a supportive environment or given the artist what she needs, what would be the point of measuring her productivity? In a lot of organizations today, developers aren't given the tools they need and need to navigate huge amounts of organizational complexity just to do their job. In the same way, the number of crayon strokes has nothing to do with the quality of the artwork in our story. Counting lines of code or story points isn't a good way to determine developer productivity. When you suck all the joy out of creating a piece of art, you can't expect a masterpiece. The artist in our story probably had pretty low levels of joy. She was restricted to using poor equipment, had to suffer through a do-as-you're-told culture, and didn't produce her best work. These same factors impact the joy of millions of developers around the world. Only in the software world, we call these developer experience and engineering culture. Developer experience is how developers feel about the tools and frameworks they use to build software, while engineering culture encompasses how work is done within an organization. It's a fusion of an engineering organization's values, practices, and norms. It's the stories that become legend. In our story earlier, our artist was subject to a do-as-you're-told culture. Even though she knew using the boardroom table was going to negatively impact the outcome, she didn't bother raising it. This is the same impact culture can have on software teams. Together, developer experience and engineering culture shape developer joy. For the rest of this session, let's focus on driving developer joy through a positive developer experience. This is a very broad topic, so today I'll focus on how to understand your current state developer experience and how to improve experience at scale. Developer experience is about how engineers feel about the tools they use to create software in your organization. It's unique to your organization. Like productivity, feelings are also hard to measure. The only people who know what the developer experience is like at your company are your developers. So the first thing I recommend to people is to speak with their developers. In a previous company, I dedicated a few weeks to speaking with engineers about their experience and how we could improve it. All I asked was one simple question: how could we improve the way we deliver software? I was expecting a bunch of feedback on tools, which I did receive, but surprisingly got a whole lot of feedback on processes. I walked away from 2 weeks of speaking with devs with a 2-year backlog on ways to improve developer experience. Ask them and they will tell you. The best part about this step is it's free and you can start doing this today. Speaking with developers gives you a great insight, but it's not scalable across large organizations. Surveys are a great way to get a pulse check on developer experience at scale. You can use the information gathered in a developer experience survey to track improvements on specific focus areas and identify new focus areas. Designing a good survey that's going to give you the insights you need to improve experience can be a challenge. It's a good idea to validate survey results with a cross-section of developers in your organization before deciding a course of action. By speaking to developers and running a survey, you should have a good understanding about the current state of developer experience and areas for improvement. However, in large organizations, software teams have quite diverse and specific needs. What impacts one team may not impact another. There may be some issues that only impact a certain team. It's important to help teams understand their own developer experience and give them ways to improve these themselves. At Atlassian, dev teams use CheckOps, a feature within Compass to reflect on their team health. You can think of this like a retro, but for engineering teams. One of the important questions teams are asked is, how does the team feel this week? Remember, developer experience is about how engineers feel about the tools and frameworks they use. Capturing this on a weekly basis provides a great data point for teams to see how things are trending. CheckOps provides teams with all the events and data related to the components they own, so they can have an informed discussion on what went well, what could have been better, and what actions they will take to improve. They're presented with information like DORA metrics for their team, as well as health scorecards and service readiness and security. Not all the insights that come from CheckOps will be experience-related, but it's a great place to capture experience-related issues. So what if the team does identify an issue and they have the skill set and resources to resolve it themselves? Compass is easily extendable, so teams can build what they need, then make it available for the rest of the organization to leverage. Having an extendable platform like Compass means teams are able to identify what they need, then build what they need in a safe, scalable way. This reduces reliance on platform teams and enables teams to DIY their DX. Platform teams use platforms as a vehicle to deliver a good experience for their customers, the developers. A good developer experience platform does this in a few different ways. Firstly, it aims to reduce cognitive load for development teams. Put simply, this means reducing the amount of information they need to remember while working in your organization. Secondly, a good developer experience platform promotes a healthy engineering culture through learning and continuous improvement. And finally, a good developer experience platform is easily extendable. I've already covered how Compass can promote a healthy engineering culture with CheckOps, and how developers can easily extend the platform. Let's take a look at how a platform can be used to reduce cognitive load. Cognitive load is a huge challenge for modern-day developers and can lead to a poor developer experience. A good developer experience platform reduces cognitive load by putting everything in one place. During our journey to a distributed architecture, we could see cognitive load was becoming an issue for our devs in Atlassian. So we built a component catalog. The component catalog brings together all the information developers need in a single place. We have one URL where anyone in the company can go to find what they need. You can see who owns a component, what it does. You can see up and downstream dependencies, the health of that component, all the documentation associated with the component, how to contact the team, who's on call, one place to find all the information you need. We don't need to remember thousands of things or bookmark lots of URLs. This significantly reduces cognitive load for developers. Okay, senior leaders are nothing if they're not persistent. We can't get away from measuring things, so here are my thoughts on measuring. Developer experience and culture are unique to your organization. Given its big impact on developer productivity, what you choose to measure should also be unique. This doesn't mean you need to start from scratch though. There are companies who do this well that you should take inspiration from. You should be inspired by the journey they took to get to the right measures for their organization. Don't try and shortcut the process by using the same measurements as someone else. Not only is it unlikely to work for you, it might actually make things worse. Finally, creating software is a team sport, and each team plays the game differently. There is no scenario where I would look to measure an individual's productivity, nor would I compare productivity between teams. So, as we've seen, developer productivity is a byproduct of developer joy. Happy devs are productive devs.